All right, let's poke the bear a little bit. I'm going to ask you a few questions here. I don't ever pretend to have the answers to anything. Oftentimes, I might have an answer, but an answer is much different than the answer. The purpose behind my questions, the purpose behind these videos in this series is just to generate conversation, just to get you talking, to get you thinking, to get you asking the questions. Because if we ultimately want to keep growing, if we ultimately want to get better, we've got to be willing to have the conversations. So let me ask you this year, this calendar year, did you set any goals for yourself? Let me pause on that question. Let me ask you an even bigger question. For your life, do you have a vision? Do you have a vision for your life? What do you want to be? Not what do you want to accomplish? Not what things do you want to check off your bucket list, but what do you want to be? And then go back and ask yourself, do your goals align with your vision? So, for example, a lot of you know me. I am a runner. I run a lot. I run marathons. I run hundreds of miles a month, thousands of miles a year. But my goal for running aligns to my larger vision of being an example to my kids and being healthy. Now, if my goal was simply to run and just to check things off a list and to hit mileage markers every single week or every single month, that'd be great. But if I didn't have the overall vision of being healthy and being a model to my kids, how we went about achieving my goals might be different. Again, my goal aligns with my vision. But let's say that I hurt myself this week. Let's say I tear an Achilles or I tear a calf muscle, which I have done. Does that mean that I am a failure and I should not go on? On the contrary, because I have a vision of being an example to my kids and being healthy. In those times when I hurt myself, I didn't just lay on the couch and say, I'm not going to meet my goals. I came up with a new goal to align towards that vision. I rode the spinner bike. I started lifting weights. I found other things I could do to continue to be healthy and lead that healthy lifestyle that I want to be an example for with my kids. In your school and in your classroom, I am sure that you have goals. I'm sure that you have school improvement goals, reading and math, proficiency goals. Question is, what's your vision for your kids? In your school, what is that you want your kids to become? Now, I know most schools have visions of they want their kids to be lifelong learners. They want their kids to be competent and confident. They want them to have persistence and grit. So let me ask you, are your goals the only way for kids to accomplish those visions? Specifically, let me ask about reading. I think in far too many schools, far too many districts, far too many states, reading has turned into the goal as opposed to something that aligns towards a vision. What do I mean? Well, pretty simple. Reading is important. Reading literacy schools skills are a tool that we can use to help create lifelong learners. Correct. True. But it is not the skill. It is not the tool. It is not the end all be all. Is there research out there that correlates readers with high levels of academic achievement? Yes, there are. But do you know there are also correlations out there that correlate race, that correlate wealth, that correlate parent education levels to high levels of academic achievement? Yep, there sure are. So let me ask you, in your school, why have you selected reading as the goal? Because again, it is correlated with academic success. But do you know some things that are actually correlated with reading and have a greater effect size or greater impact than simply reading does on academic achievement? So let me ask you, who are the types of kids that read in your schools? Are they kids with varied life experiences, kids that have seen the world, traveled the world, and have educated parents who talk about the world? Are those the types of texts that your kids are choosing to read? The bottom line is kids read things that they are interested in, just like we do as adults. Our bookshelves at home are filled with things that we're already interested in, things that we've been exposed to, things that we've experienced. Those are the things we read about. So yes, kids who read more do achieve more, but oftentimes it's because of those other outlying factors of life experience, being able to play when they're young and have engaging conversations about the world that lead kids to want to read more and ask more questions and find more answers that lead to greater academic success. Simply teaching students how to read is a great, great goal, but it is not the only goal that we should strive for when trying to accomplish our vision. If our goal is to create kids that are persistent and have grit, having goals that say kids need to be proficient in mathematics and having mathematics curriculums and programs that require algebra 2 and calculus simply so that kids can learn grit is absolutely asinine. There are 1,000 other ways to teach kids grit and stamina and persistence and depth without requiring those courses. Again, I ask yourself, what is your vision for your kids? What is your vision for yourself? And do your goals align? Don't let your goals supersede and distract you from your vision. Let your vision paint the way.